I want to follow that series of questions. A secret agency is an anomaly in a democracy. And our government is built upon an elaborate set of checks and balances, many of which don't necessarily apply to a secret agency. And the law is one of those checks that does. And so to follow Senator Burr's questions and to go back to the very beginning of this hearing, you answered yes to the chairman's questions about making information readily and available on a timely basis to this committee. I think that's critically important, and I hope right now I'd like to give you an opportunity to renew that commitment that you made earlier today and that you just made to Senator Burr.
Yes, Senator King, and thank you for taking the opportunity to speak with me this week as well. This is, I think, the obligations that the CIA director, that the general counsel are under to ensure that this committee is fully and timely informed are critical. As I mentioned in my opening statement, I believe this is particularly critical at an agency like the CIA that necessarily has to conduct a lot of its work outside of the public view. And I will always do my utmost to comply with those obligations and to bring matters to this committee consistent with all obligations to protect sensitive information, because I view a partnership with this committee as being absolutely essential to the success of the agency's mission overall.
And it's part of the check and balance in our system that this committee has this responsibility. This isn't like the Department of Agriculture or the Department of Commerce that has outside commentators and newsletters and the press and all of those kinds of things. We're it. And that's why our relationship with you is so important. Lawyers in these situations have sort of two roles. The first is counsel to your client, and generally your job is to tell your client how to do legally what they want to do. But at some point, you have to say no. And my question is, are you willing to say no to the director of the CIA and the President of the United States when you're in the Oval Office and the President says, we've got to do this in order to protect national security, even though it's in violation of the law? Are you willing to say no in that situation?
Absolutely, Senator.
And at some point report that to this committee. One of the areas that it seems to me that we're going to have to be thinking about is that we've had this clear distinction in our intelligence laws and in our law enforcement between U.S. and abroad. The CIA doesn't operate in the United States. The FBI does. NSA doesn't operate with regard to U.S. persons. Here's the problem. We're entering an area where that line is harder to draw. For example, in the area of cyber. There may be a cyber attack that originates in Russia or China, but goes through servers in New Jersey or California. And the question is that a domestic issue or a foreign issue? Give me some thoughts about how we maintain the fencing in, if you will, of our intelligence agencies with regard to Americans, and yet at the same time effectively respond to threats that are more complex and the lines are harder to draw.
Thank you, Senator King. That issue, particularly when it comes to technology, is, as you note, increasingly complex. And the CIA and the intelligence community have several tools to help them work through those issues. But fundamentally, a lot of those questions are legal questions, are questions on which lawyers give guidance. And there's some of the they're some of the types of issues that I think are the most challenging. It's one of the reasons why I think it is a huge advantage to have lawyers who really understand technology. Sometimes generalist knowledge is not enough to help us answer those types of questions. I think that working with the intelligence community writ large as a community to figure out which agencies are best suited, consistent with their authorities, consistent with EO 12333 guidelines, to be the lead on given issues is one of the most important features of our community system of intelligence.
And to one final point, I hope that as you encounter gray areas or areas of indistinct legal distinction, legal rules, that you'll come to the committee and suggest this is a place where legislation might be necessary to clarify this issue. Again, we're all on the same team here. And to the extent you can advise us as to changes in authorities or other areas of that where legislation can help to clarify and deal with these difficult issues, I'd appreciate if you would do so. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. First of all, let me welcome you